Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Palm Central podcast episode. I am one of your hosts, Uncle AK. With me, I got my good peoples. T, what's up? What's good with you?
Oh, sorry. I'm here. Let's go.
Tutu, what's up? What's good with you?
Yeah, unmute yourself. It's okay.
Damn, my bad. It's a day. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Hello.
MC JB, what's good with you, man?
Man, the Lady Victoria is so beautiful. I just have to start with that compliment. Anyway, tonight is Tuesday. I'm all the way in Minnesota, MCJB. Like we all do it. It's about to go down.
But Lord.
What's popping? How y'all doing? Beautiful people. Good to see you all.
Lord, you know who you look like?
Oh, gosh, here we go. Everybody is in.
Sorry, I don't want to derail. My bad. Go ahead, AK. My fault.
He killed that president.
It wasn't bad. It really wasn't bad. I wasn't going to insult. I was going to say, do you know this artist named Bills? Official Bills. He's a Nigerian artist. Oh, I was about to say, you should look into it. You look like the hair and the colored hair. You should look into it. It's nothing bad.
Okay.
My bad. Go ahead. You continue.
Thank you for the compliment, I guess.
Very welcome.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Drum roll, please. So I'm happy to have one of my sister friends on here, Victory. I have known Victory for a while. Actually met her through her older sister. So yeah, I'm just happy and excited that, she's grown and she's now an expert in the field, so I'm proud of that I know someone like that. But Victory, just give a brief introduction. Let me not say much. Tell the people who you are, what you do, a fun fact or anything like that you're comfortable with sharing. Go.
All right. Hi, everybody. Hi, Palm Wine Central crew. My name is Victory, and I am here to have a conversation about money. I am a licensed CPA. I'm also Nigerian. I am an immigrant, so, very relatable. And I'm just excited. Fun fact about me, I used to be afraid of dogs, but I'm not afraid of dogs anymore. So I'm glad that I got over that fear. If you're Nigerian or you grew up in Nigeria, you know why I was afraid of dogs, but not anymore. So thank God.
What cured that? Because I don't think I want to get cured.
Well, she came to America. That's why she's not afraid of dogs anymore.
Yeah. I got exposed and they're actually really sweet. So
no. Thank you very much. Keep it in the pictures.
The difference is domesticated versus non-domesticated dogs.
I don't care. Domesticated, non-domesticated, service animals. All of them are the same to me. They do not care.
When you hear a dog named Whiskey or Rambo, just run away, bro. That's already bad.
I mean, there are dogs for blind people, so not all dogs are bad.
True.
What are you talking about?
Sorry, sir.
A dog is a dog, man.
No, there are dogs for blind people now. But not all
Okay.
dogs are bad.
The service dogs.
Okay.
Dogs.
Okay.
You don't think service? You think service dogs are bad? Anyways,
we don't do where I come from. We don't do dogs. We don't do that. And I'm happy she said she used to be scared and she outgrew that. I was walking with my little boy the other day in the neighborhood and a dog came and I ran and left that guy there. That guy's kidding. That guy's
What a man you are. So masculine. So protective.
I ran and left the boy. The boy was there trying to pet the dog. I was like, keep doing it, baby. I'm gone. The neighborhood was laughing. I was on 10 toes. Man.
So how did he come home?
I went back and got the owner came and got the dog. I went back and took my little boy and we told him, I told you never to walk with me again. And that since then I don't walk in my neighborhood like that.
You see JB for president. That's what's up.
Man.
Man, back to the topic for today. Victory. Could you please tell us what got you into accounting? And you mentioned you have your CPA. For those who don't know what it is, what is a CPA and what do CPAs do? Let's kick it off like that, please.
Yeah, so I have always just liked the idea of doing business, making money, things of that nature. So I think from early on, I was just always intrigued and attracted to like numbers, bookkeeping, and I just had a natural inclination for it. And CPA stands for Certified Public Accountant. And what we do is we basically are behind the backbone of the economy, because the economy runs on businesses, right? And somebody needs to hold businesses accountable, and make sure that their financials are correct, that they're not cooking the books and making up numbers. So a company like Amazon, a CPA firm would audit that type of company, excuse me, and make sure, that their financial statements are correct. So they say they made $1 million, or they actually did make $1 million. So that's what we do. We're kind of the police of businesses.
And on the personal side, I see personal finance. Like, do you do like personal finance on up front? Can you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I do enjoy conversations about money. Like I said, I'm also an immigrant, so moved here when I was 16, moved here for college. So, starting the American dream right from scratch, nothing really to your name except, your degree and, a passion to earn money and create wealth for yourself. So I'm very interested and always trying to have conversations like these, as willing as many people are as willing to engage in the conversation.
Nice.
All right. Enough about you. Let's bring it full circle.
No. One question about her, man. How can you just get her like that?
So, go ahead.
Come on. So sorry, my bro. So actually, I see a lot of people tell you when you have CPAs that come to your company, you can bribe them. As they call it in America, lobby. You can give them money and they will not sell your company. Like they can protect you from this scam. Is there something that is common in this business?
I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure I understand what you're referring to be honest.
Okay, let me take it again. So you say when people make money, sometimes you go there like an accountant, right? They can report what they spend. So the times that I'm from Africa, people will come and tell me we made it 100 million. When the accountant comes, they'll say, okay, please come and balance that we made 100 million when they actually made like 200. And they'll give that accountant like 25 million and keep 75. Does that make sense now?
That makes sense, yeah, but okay. I don't think those aren't the standards, that CPAs, especially, in the United States, and if you do have that license, those are definitely not the standards that we operate by. So it definitely wouldn't fly. Nice.
So no one has bribed you yet?
Nope.
Awesome. Good job. I'm done, AK.
Okay. Back to you. Right back to you, CJB. If you could please kick us off. Growing up, well, even now that you're papa of two, but growing up, what lessons did you learn when it came to finances that you use now, if any?
Two things. First, communal life, which involves nuclear family, and second, the Bible. So I followed the Bible so much, I knew I was going to be a priest. So the Bible told me that whatever you have on earth is going to stay on earth. So I wasn't working towards building finances because I know when I die, everything is gone. Secondly, I knew as a family that what you do is you can be eating or saving money while your family is starving. So I believe so much in nuclear family. I believe so much in helping people out, especially those who are close to me and those who I don't even know. So when it comes to building of wealth and all that stuff, I'm not really a fan of it. Because if you look at one of the most popular journalists on CNN, right? Is Anderson Cooper. He came from a family where they believe in generational wealth. Like his family was one of the richest family in America. His great-great-granddaddy. Before he got to his term, the money was gone. So as much as you fight to build generational wealth, it's just some sort of a falsity. Like it might not come to pass because one person will just get in that particular generation and just squander everything. So I believe in working, providing for my family, buy my shoes, buy my suits that I like, do my shows. The day I die, whatever is left there for my kids, they will take. Because my wealth is in heaven. I'm done.
Wait, you said Anderson Cooper, the money is gone before it got to him?
Yeah, before he got to the money. Before he got to his mom, the money was gone. I'm talking about they were the richest family in America.
But who told you that?
Because they're no longer the richest family.
But who said that the money was gone? I could have sworn we had a conversation about this before last time and the fact wasn't right.
The family used to be the richest, but they don't have money no more. Like they're
right,
not the
but my
richest
question is to you because you just said that there was no more money before it got to him. So I'm trying to figure out where's the factual that you got that from because I believe that's incorrect.
Okay, what is the correct part about it?
He has money. There was money
Jesus
left
Christ.
over from him from his family. I'm confused.
Are you
What did he
following
just
what I'm
say?
saying? I said they were the
What
richest
did-
family. I did the
What did
richest
you
family
just say?
anyhow.
But what did you just say?
I said the money is gone. The family doesn't have money like before.
Okay.
The money is gone. They were the richest family in America. Are they the richest family in America right now?
Okay. All right.
And since when did you start fact checking me?
A long time ago.
Jeez,
Yeah,
man.
a long time ago, because you just be coming with the facts and the facts don't be facting. So I just have to make sure.
So you just babble with your words because you're trying to fact check me, or you know
I'm
that's what
not
I'm trying to
babbling my
do.
words. I'm letting you know that you're incorrect.
So prove me that I'm wrong.
I literally had this conversation with you before. But anyways, this is about the guest, so let's continue on.
So,
Go ahead.
what financial lessons did you learn growing up, and how have they shaped your approach to money as an adult?
Whose name did you call?
You too.
Sorry, say that again.
Oh yeah, she forgot her own turn.
What
Good
financial?
question.
Wait, am I audible?
You're not a problem. She wants
Oh.
to talk when JB talks. When it's her turn to talk, she doesn't remember her name.
Okay, guys, hold on. You guys, let it go now. You guys, let it go. Anyways, the question, Tutu, is what financial lessons did you learn growing up, and how have they shaped your approach to money as an adult?
Well, one thing my dad was always big on. He told us savings for sure and credit. I never really believed in that credit stuff until I got older, and I'm like, oh damn, he was actually for real. Basically, being able to have a backup plan just in case anything was to ever happen. I never really understood why he was always so adamant on like, be careful what you do in this world because it could come back and bite you in the ass. Especially when it comes to your finances and stuff like that. And now that I'm older, I see that, like, damn, this man was really right when it comes to certain things, whether it comes to student loans for school, or even being able to, like, you know, get a car or buy a house or things like that. Just the littlest things that you think is not a big thing. The minor inconveniences actually make a huge impact. So growing up, I'm glad that he instilled that, like, you know, make sure that you get yourself together. Make sure that you always have a savings. Make sure you have an emergency backup because you never know what may happen. Sometimes it gets tough, but I mean, I'm glad that I feel like it shaped me. So that way, I'm never really in a situation where I can fend for myself in a sense.
Lord, let me check it up a little bit. Being that you're the last born of your house, you have like, I think two older brothers, three. And you know, the Gap families of their own kids, everything, you know, just in terms of money, you know, finances growing up and even now, right, looking at your brothers, and I noticed they have some kind of influence on you being that again, you know, you're the last born. How are they shaping your view on money? How have dad, your siblings, your brothers shaped your view on money and, you know, be responsible when it comes to money, or be the man that you need to be or that you are now?
Very heavy, to be honest. Being on top of that because they have kids. So they kind of like, you know, they're very mindful of the expenditures. They talk to me about different ways to save, different saving methods. Like they even inform me on different apps to use for the long run. Knowing that I like to shop, they're like, okay, since we know you like spending and shopping this, if you get this app, every time you cash out on a receipt, it rounds it up to the next dollar and it goes into saving somehow. And I'm like, all right, cool. At least I know that I'm actually still doing some type of saving, even if I'm spending something. Even my sisters and my parents, my dad, they all like, you know, Las Bonas, what is it? 8 of them now. It's 7 people on top of me who I can watch and learn from. So big influence for sure.
Are you really watching? JK, I'm just messing with you.
I'm watching. I'm shopping.
All right, team. If I come to you, let me go to Victoria real quick. Victory. Wait, what was I? Okay, Victory. When we talk about generational wealth, right? And you're from Nigeria. You spoke about sorry, I forgot. Was it Igbo?
Yoruba.
Yoruba. You guys, you know, money. Generational wealth, right? Speak a little bit about how your parents, you know, Papa, Mama, have, you know, molded that, you know, your view on money so far, and also being that, you know, you got your CPA. Like, how did they how did they motivate you to do that if they did at all?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think for me, my parents, the best gift they ever gave me and my siblings was access to good education, right? Because I think it was Nelson Mandela that says that, education is the best tool that you can use to change the world. And my parents, even though they didn't give me $1 million to go and start my own business, they sacrificed a lot to send my siblings and I to get the best education that they could afford, right? So with that education, I had the privilege of now, being able to open a lot of doors for myself and my siblings and I. When you're educated, you are part of the privileged, people in society because you have that education. So there's certain opportunities that you can get access to that other people may not easily have access to what you do. So I think my parents, the biggest, I guess, generational wealth that they gave me and my siblings was opportunity to good education. And I think when the conversation about generational wealth comes up, a lot of people automatically think about, big names like the Rockefellers or, these people that have like these insane amounts of, wealth. But honestly, for me, that's not exactly my definition of generational wealth. For me, generational wealth also, it's like the whole picture, right? It is providing financially for your family or your children, but it's also, making sure that you are the best parent, that you can be the best person, the best partner, the best husband, the best wife that you can be. It's, taking care of yourself and your children emotionally. It's being present in the home, right? That's the legacy that you leave your children, is that they have memories of you around, being outside, enjoying things in nature together, like doing activities together. So I think when the conversation of generational wealth comes up, I'm pretty like, I know the financial aspect is important, but I think that it's a bigger picture and there are multiple things to be considered.
How do you think how do you think somebody can prepare for generational wealth?
Like as a single person?
Yeah, if you can give us both scenarios, as a single person and as somebody that's probably in a relationship planning to start a family.
Absolutely. So I think that first of all, it's education, it's your mindset, right? What are you listening to? What are you reading? What are you learning? Because every country, every civilized and developed country has a financial system, and it's like you're playing a game. And if you remember when you played Uno as a kid, they would teach you how to play the game, right? It's like, here, these are the rules, this is how you play. If you don't know the rules of the game you're playing, you're bound to lose every time. So I think that for us as immigrants who moved to this country, maybe you moved, maybe your parents moved or generations before you have to take the time to learn the rule of the game you're playing. Otherwise, you're going to lose every time. So it's educating yourself, right? It's reading, it's being curious about learning and how the system actually works, and, ignoring every other thing that, all the noise that's out there. So that's what I would say. The biggest way to prepare is educating yourself.
Nice.
Let me get you involved here real quick. How do you, and then back to you again, Victory, for the same question. How do you, or maybe Victory first, then TU, how do you handle finances?
Me personally, okay, so I don't, so I think the first thing that I would say about handling finances, because it is a pretty like sensitive topic and it's very personal. So I never want to come out here and act like I have it all together. We're all figuring it out. Nobody ever has arrived when it comes to money, because you're constantly learning, you're constantly growing. But I think one thing that has helped me personally is like taking stock, right? So I have a budget. And even though I don't always follow it strictly every time, like, I might splurge here and there, but having, when you're driving on the highway, right? And these really tall highways like they have in Texas and all these other huge states, when you're driving, there's guardrails, right, on the road to keep you from falling off the edge. So when you think of a budget, I want you to think of a budget as the guardrail. It's what keeps you from falling off the edge of the bridge. So you kind of have something that tells you, okay, I'm in the line, I'm within my boundaries here. So one thing that really helps me, AK, to answer your question directly, is having a budget and having a plan of like, here are my financial goals for this year, and how do I break it down into month by month, week by week, achieving those goals. Because you can't fix a hole in the wall that you pretend that you don't see. So if there's a hole in your finances, the first thing you have to do is, I know it's scary, but you have to, confront the hole so that you can start to strategize and plan for how you're going to fix it.
There is.
Yeah, I was just like, damn. My answer was pretty simple and rudimentary. I don't know if I want to follow her. But for me, it's very simple, right? I am very practical with money. Um, I'm not the big what you call, like, I don't know. I'm not very educated with the whole finance system and everything, right? But like she said, budget is a big part of my finances, right? Because if there's one thing that I've learned is never to live above my means. And I do that every day, and that starts with one decision and the next, one choice and the next. It's like sometimes it comes right down to something as grainy as the difference between me going out for a drink or staying home type thing, or me swapping out maybe a brand name product for a generic one. Sometimes it goes, so I'm very practical with my money. One thing I always say is like, if it never goes on sale, it wasn't meant to be. I will wait 4 years for it to go on sale. Now that's regardless of the things that that are immediate, pertinent to my everyday life and stuff. But if it doesn't go on sale, it was not meant to be. I don't care how much I like it. And if you know me, I love shoes. I love shoes. So, but I don't think I would not. There's certain prices I see on things, and I'm like, I would not be caught dead paying for that, even if I have the money to, right? And so to me, that's just how it is. I'm very practical with it. I think probably because I grew up with almost close to none, so I'm very vigilant with it, and I'm tight with my money. My money and I go real bad. We go together real bad. But yeah.
Hope you're not as tight as Japanese handbrakes.
No, I'm generous, right, in that aspect. But when it comes to, because that's the other side of to me of money, right? There's no, I think the one reason why you have money is to be generous with it. I believe that wholeheartedly, but that doesn't mean that I should go and be frivolous with money just because I have some, right? That's what I mean by I'm tight with my money. Like, I would think hard and square, and I will find alternatives before I can pay for something. So yeah, but that's just me.
Mr. Jimmy, school us a little bit. How do you and your partner manage finances together? And
African woman. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, and then just to add to that too, since we're talking about generational wealth, is that a topic of conversation in your household?
Yeah, I'm always your sister. You know her. When it comes to generational wealth, she wants to make sure that all the money is going somewhere. So keep it in real. We don't have a joint account, but we have accounts for the kids. And then we have an account where we know, okay, I'm doing this and you're doing that. So yeah, we're still doing this rigid African dad that I am. I feel like, okay, I have to take care of these things. Okay, if I'm buying this, I'm buying that. If you want something, you let me know, and I will definitely be providing. School fees, mortgages, all those things. You know how this it goes. Like, it's like an African house. Yeah, man trying to be in control. But my wife also is a woman that wants to make sure that before she spends, she needs to have a reason. But on the other hand, I'm the one who is like, man, let me just do this now. It's going to come. Let me do this. It's going to come. Yeah. So I don't really care that much about it. Like I was talking about generational wealth. I don't care much about generational wealth because I believe that the money you make on earth is for your enjoyment and some for your kids. That's why folks like Bill Gates, when they go, they tell he told his daughter, I'm not going to leave you with anything. The money I'm making, you have to work for your own money. So I always give these analogies, not because I'm trying to contrast and compare between a billionaire and myself, who is a pauper. I'm just saying that those who have made that much money, they look at the money like it's nothing. Someone dies and wills $36 million to a cat.
That's wicked.
A cat. $36 million to a cat, a pussy cat. So I'm just like, well, me, JB, I don't really care. My wife is the one who's like, okay, we need to do this and do that. But at least our kids don't go naked. They have food to eat, they have clothes, they have shelter. So basic necessities. And I also have friends back home, friends in America, where they can call and be like, I need 10K. And I'll give you 10K. 10K as in $20, okay, not $10,000. Yeah. So yeah, those kind of people that will always be around to ask for help. But generational wealth to me, I don't really care much about it because I have at most 40 more years to be on earth. That's about it. I'm gone. So who cares about generational wealth?
So you don't care
Like,
for the little ones?
I'm educating my kids. That's what I said. They go to school, so they're doing well, and I make sure I'm saving for them. Normally, there's 401k, there's 529, and those other things where they'll come and tell you put your kids insurance so they can have $1 million when they turn 30. All those things are good for them. But trust me, when your kid turns 18 and he goes to college, do you know how he's going to spend that money? Thank you. So you can only do what you can do as a dad, but make sure you don't go naked because you're trying to please your kids.
But why is it, man? Okay, yeah, sure. But you know, somewhere in the Bible is written that you need to,
Give some money to the prostitute.
oh, prepare.
Oh Lord, no. Talking about living for your children and your children's children.
All that stuff.
Yeah, okay, that's blessings from Abraham for your generations. And the same Bible says, teach a child how to live so they'll learn from where they grow old. So I'm teaching them how to work and how to make money. And when he turns 14, he needs to cut my lawn, so I pay him. Okay. Yeah, so that's how I'm teaching him. He has to work to get it. But right now that he has no clue, we are saving money for him. When he gets to that 18, going to college or whenever, he has at least $30,000 to start his life. Man, I didn't get that kind of money when I was 18.
I mean, JB, follow-up question for you though.
Okay,
Seeing that you say you don't believe in generational wealth, right?
Mhm.
Going off Victory's redefinition of what generational wealth is, that includes wellness and it's more than finances. Do you think now, knowing that, is that something you think you would incorporate and would maybe change your verbiage and say you do believe in it, but just not in finances alone, or are you standing on that?
No. When I started talking, I talked about nuclear family. And to me, anyone I've ever been to, classmates, schoolmates, whoever, that's my family. So I can't be sitting in America saving $20 when a classmate in Cameroon needs 10K. I'm not saving that money in my account. I'll give it to you. So to me, I believe so more in people. I believe in humanity. I tell you all the time. I believe like the more you give to someone, 20, 30 years from now, someone's going to help my child. Someone's going to give you maybe a house or something, or maybe I knew your dad, he did this and that. So an African man believe in people. We believe in people. When you have people, you have wealth. That's our tradition. Remember, we used to do trade by barter before the white man came with money. I'm sorry, Caucasians came with money. Civilization came with money. We did trade by barter, right? That's what we did back in the days. And we did not hold money. We didn't hold money. What we did was make sure everyone is eating, everyone is happy. The man with the most wife was the richest person. So generational wealth is a new diction in our African vocabulary. We didn't have that diction before. We talked of things like, okay, the king is the ruler, he has wives, he has kids. You are the soldier, you go fight, you come back to your kids. You are the farmer, you raise food, we eat. That's about family. That was a society. Agrarian revolution, until we came with the industrial revolution now, and everyone is all about the money. I still don't care much about the money. Money is for my suits and for my kids to actually, when they go to school. For me to keep money like when I turn 80 or 90, what if I die tomorrow? I don't care.
So long story short, you subscribe to her definition then?
No, I just said I don't care about that. I care about nuclear family.
No, you from everything you explained was everything she said. What generational wealth, what her outlook on generational wealth is, because you're talking community, you're talking. It's not just the money, keeping something like a dollar amount, right? You're talking teaching them community, teaching them other things, leaving them things other than money. So that's why I was just summarizing it for you.
If you bring community in it, then I will not look at that as generational wealth. When they talk of generation, your generation does not actually. A generation goes with when you do your DNA. They tell you your great granddad was from Ireland. That's your generation. Where I bring in my communal lifestyle, that is no longer generational wealth. That is now known as maybe you being a philanthropist, helping people or something, which I think that's what I'm working towards. So it beats out that aspect of generational wealth.
I don't think that's the definition of generational, JB, but I'll leave that one there now, because it's passing on generation. It's moving across generations, right? So if you teach your sons that value and they hold it and they teach their children, that's generational. And it can start from any generation. It doesn't have to go only backwards. It can go forward as well.
You're holding me to my kids, and I keep telling you I send people to school, I don't even know them. I keep telling you it's not about my kids. I tell you there are people that I don't know. I can go to a hospital, someone I don't know, and I pay your hospital bill. Are you my generation?
But those who build generational wealth, they are still philanthropists, right? They can do both. Yeah.
Most of them. Did you ever get a dime from Photo Victor in Cameroon?
Do I ever know? Have I ever seen him?
Exactly. So I'm just saying there are some of these people that you've not gotten a dime from them. So someone like Dangote, he has all the money. His family is doing fine. So when he leaves his money to his kids, that's generational wealth. Whoever Dangote help is known as being philanthropic.
Yeah, he'll probably have charity somewhere, right? That he's doing. He might probably be donating somewhere, beds. I don't know. I've not done research on that, but I'm pretty sure that like those who got wealth, they got foundations set up to go out and help, less privileged and things like that. No.
So no, I concur to whatever we're saying. I'm just saying that you helping out someone. That's what I'm telling you more about. You helping out some dude that you don't know, giving them milk to drink. That is not your generation.
But I guess where I'm kind of confused or conflicted, if I may say, is why can you not do both? Like, why can you not build the generational wealth for your kids and at the same time still be a philanthropist? Why?
I just told you already that these kids, they are of now, they don't lack anything. I'm giving them what I can give. But all I'm saying to you is that, AK, if I like to drive a Mercedes, I won't drive a Toyota because I'm trying to save for my son. Your son will squander that money in one night. That's what I'm trying to say to you. I'm saying that in as much as I'm trying to provide for my kids, I'm doing so. They have savings. I've told you about 529, there's 401k, all the stuff, all those things that they have right now. They have insurance. Other kids in the US don't even have insurance. So I'm building that stuff for them, giving them the life that I never had. You understand? So they are living a good way of life. At their age, what they have at their age when I was at age, I didn't have it. So already they are rich kids, if I may say that. So if I have to live until 80, then now these kids now are going to be seeing money, which they have to work for their money. But if it's on me to work and leave money for my kids, I'm not doing that, bro.
So all these suits are wearing up and down like this is not for them. It's just for you.
No, it's not for them. It's the suit is a way of life. That's my hobby. That's my job. That's my passion. So I wear these things to get these gigs, to make money and save for them. If they grow and they want to become MCs, they need to buy their own suits.
That's a different question. Or anyway,
Go
ahead, too.
I have a question for Victory. So, do you feel like it's this generation? Well, I'm not even saying this generation. Well, we can say this generation, but the next generation, right? Do you feel like as if they are prepared or even close enough to being prepared in like financial wealth, generational wealth? And do you feel like as if maybe that's something that needs to be taught more in school to actually prepare them? Because when you think about like today's generation now, I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of all over the place. Like you see people in the clubs, everybody's doing bottle wars. Like money is just going to like shit that doesn't make sense or doesn't matter in a sense for real. But do you feel like I said the next generation might be prepared and equipped with being able to take on generational wealth and just being able to get their finances together?
Yeah, Victory, before you answer that, please, I had a question just on that line, so you can just add it together. And in your like professional opinion, right? Do you see if there's a shift across generations in terms of like what finances is or how it's being approached or how people are going about it? So just add that to that.
Like a shift from like millennial to Gen Z or
from like our parents, and seeing that you have a personal side and as well as a professional side view of things.
Yeah, so I think from what I've seen, I think there's a lot more information out there about money and finances in general. Some of it is even overwhelming to the point where it's now noise and you don't really know like what's actual valuable information and what's just, people kind of puffing things up and adding, smokes and whistles. But I do think that there is value in us having the conversation, right? It being a thing that we can actually sit down and discuss. I think there's value there. But I think that like the differences between the generations. I think it just depends on like person's upbringing, where they're from, their background. But I do think more people are willing to have the conversation more, which is a good thing. They just need to be directed towards, education and, learning the actual values and the way that money works. And, even if you're on the bottom, how to come up when you're on top, how to, manage those expectations and things of that nature. But to answer your question, I think that yes, I always say that if I had any influence over like the educational system, especially in Nigeria, because that's my home, and I would incorporate two things compulsorily for all the kids to learn. One would be financial literacy, and the other would be emotional intelligence. Because I think it's very important for us, as a society, as we evolve, as we grow, because you always use your emotions wherever you go, right? And they don't teach you anything about it in school, even how to navigate anger, joy, sadness. They don't teach you about money. And, these are two very, very important things, right? I always say I haven't used like Pythagoras theorem since I graduated from secondary school, but I still have to manage my money and I still have to figure out my emotions, right? So I think those two are really, really important to like teach children, age appropriate as they're like, even as babies, as they're toddlers, as they're children, teaching them about money. Hey, we're going to the grocery store. This is what we do. This is how we write our lists. This is why we can't buy a new car right now. This is why you shouldn't compare your toy to your friend's toy, right? Teaching them money in different ways. It doesn't always have to be this rigid, structure of like sit down and let's learn how to budget. It's in everyday conversations, right? It's bringing them into, your thought process of, hey, why are we stopping at Kroger to get gas instead of Shell? It's like, oh, we have a Kroger membership, so we get discounts, right? Incorporating them in and not to do a free ad for Kroger or whatever, but it's incorporating them into those conversations as you make decisions as a family so that they understand the way that money works. But I think one thing that is constant is change is always constant, right? So I don't think we should ever get to a point where we feel like I know it all or I'm comfortable, because the world is constantly changing, economies are constantly changing, currencies are constantly changing, right? So we live in the US that's pretty secure, like the currency is pretty secure right now, right? But I think about people in Nigeria, for example, where the currency over the last 50 years has lost like 90% of its value, or even almost, more than that, right? So I think even if the currency loses its value or the economy goes, to inflation or different things that have been happening recently, I think if you still know how money works and you educate yourself, and like Therese said earlier, you live within your means, I think that there is, there's always room to like, create value and make more money and, just sustain yourself as a human being. But as far as different generations go, I think the younger kids, I think they're pretty smart. Gen Z gets a lot of bad rep, but I just think all generations always talk, they always have something to say about younger people. It's normal. It's a circle of life. So I think they're pretty smart kids, and I think they will eventually figure it out. They just need access, to the education, to the resources. I think it needs to be incorporated in the things that they actually learn in class and, in the structured educational environment.
Real quick, where does education what's the word I'm looking for? Sit for you in terms of like, say you have kids, right? There you go. How would you prioritize? Thank you, Conti. How would you prioritize education?
That's good. So I don't have any kids just yet, but if I were to think about ways to teach them about money, I think it would be in everyday things. I think it would be including them in conversations of like, okay, this is how we're thinking about this. I think you'll be teaching them about contentment, right? Like J. Cole has that song, Love Yours, right? There's always going to be somebody that has a nicer house. There's always going to be somebody that has clothes that are nicer than yours, right? Teaching children, these values that may not seem directly related to money, but, when you zoom out, it really is. So I think in those everyday conversations, I'm not saying I have it all figured out. I'll probably make my own mistakes too. But I just know that it will be something that will be said, like it will be a part of the conversation that we have in the home, so that it's not this, alien topic when it's time to go to college and you're taking out $200,000 in debt. Then, you want to have the conversation about money. It's like, no. We start from when you're a toddler and, we're going to the grocery store and you ask for an extra bag of chips at the checkout counter. And I'm like, sweetie, no, you can't have that. Right. And we have those conversations so that as they grow, as they learn, they learn about money that way.
On the aspect of you saying, mentioning, you're not perfect. We all have, expenditure habits. What was one bad like purchase that you've ever like you ever did that you're like, ah, gosh, why did I do that?
Let me see. Let me think. There's a couple of things that come to mind. I think my most recent one would probably be, so I went to Macy's, right? Moment of truth. I went to Macy's, and Macy's is, especially in Atlanta where I am, it's fabulous. There's so much to buy. The shoes are breathtaking. Therese, you would be like, you wouldn't want to leave. So I went into Macy's and I was feeling very buoyant, like I like to say, and I was gonna purchase something, and they were like, do you want to open a credit card? And I was like, sure, I'll open a credit card. But probably shouldn't have done that, right? And credit is very, very important. So I always recommend the Experian app, or, any of these apps that you use to track your credit, because it will really help you keep track of what you're doing with your credit. So you're not just kind of shooting in the dark. So I think for me, opening that credit card wasn't the best decision ever. I got home and I was like, maybe we should have a conversation with ourselves about why we made this decision, right? But ultimately, I'm like, okay, the decision has been made. The credit card is coming in the mail. What am I going to do? I have to make sure I, keep the balance low, pay it off, and just, don't turn it into my everyday card.
I mean, in that line, right, this goes across for everyone, in no particular order you can go. If you look back, maybe at your younger self or even your adult self, right, what are some financial missteps that, you're allowed to say in public? I don't want anybody to incriminate themselves, Lord, but like, what are some financial missteps? Something you can learn back, or you can pass on to someone as knowledge or something like that. Or even just a misconception about money that you found out the hard way. It doesn't really have to be some, that grainy, but.
Well, shit. All I'm gonna say is one very, very horrific one that I experienced was I got my credit card, I belted, kept it at a zero balance, and they kept giving me, a higher limit, and it went up to, double digits. And I was in a relationship at the time, long distance, and I learned not to share financial information with your partner, because mind you, my partner was in pharmacy school, so money ain't really there. So as a boyfriend, they're like, "Oh, I miss you. Why don't you just use your credit card to come see me?" Yep, I fell for it. So every time she's coming, swipe. Every time I'm coming, swipe. Then next thing you know, we broke up. And she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna help you pay for it." Then the relationship is done. Please leave me alone. I said, "Okay, got you in hell." So just don't share your financial information with partners, especially if it's not your wife or something like that. Relationships, or friends, or anybody. To be honest, there's certain things you just shouldn't really be sharing like that. Just handle your business. Yeah,
you handled it all right. Wait, did you pay it off?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean, you're currently paying it off.
He's working on it.
Work on it.
I did, but then then other things came as I got older, and I was just like, all right. So I'm back at building. I'm there. I'm doing that.
This is more sensible.
You paid the balance off?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she took it up to like 7 bands, and then I'm like, all right, brought it back down to 0. I'm like, all right.
You guys fucking?
Were we fucking?
Yeah.
Am I not your cousin? What we think? I'm flying back and forth and we're not fucking?
Then why are you crying now? I mean,
I beg. Don't start that one, please.
What's your own you?
I know, right? He always try to do this. People, have you ever gone and paid for pussy?
That's not a topic at hand.
No.
Thank you. And the story. So you make my point. I'm not using that as a reason. Continue.
So how you compare your ex-girlfriend to paying for PUS as well?
Because when he said, "Oh, we are fucking," I said, "Yeah." He said, "All right then."
No, I'm saying in terms of, because you said that, oh, it was some kind of financial this and the third. Like, I mean, you enjoyed yourself, didn't you? Like, you knew exactly what you were doing. Like,
Yeah, you're
so
paying for the services, man.
so it's
That's
not
your
like
girlfriend.
it's your girl. So somebody
Was she
else,
cooking for you? Was she
same
cooking?
thing. So please,
No, you guys are trying it, but I'm not gonna fall for that crap again. Thank
No.
you very much. Thank you very much, management.
you don't have to. I mean, it's what you
You
do.
try, but you have tried so many times that at this point I've built invisible shield.
Because I don't know why they did this to our girls. You feel like it's okay for you when you spend money, it's like you're giving her money. When she cooks for you and you think it's okay. Man, come on. You were spending money while she was cooking, you were eating her food.
Say you guys actually made it work as she graduated from high school. Would you not be enjoying
Thank you.
Ole bottle right now?
Exactly.
You're gonna color your hair, maybe you colored your senses too. Stop. Sorry.
No, but mind
No, Lord,
this
thank
is
you.
a Kenyan
Thank
person
you, Lord.
not doing it.
Okay, move on. What's your
Yeah,
own?
tried it.
What's your mishap?
I think I'll go with, I think it was Tutu who mentioned bottle wars, things like that. It was just spending tons of money, like just going out, in that moment, the hype of things, just going out, spending, and then yeah. So it's fun while it lasts, but when you grow out of it, you look back, you just like, dude, like, why was I doing all of that? So I mean, for the other generation, I'll say if you could try to avoid it, please do. But if your blood is boiling was boiling like mine was, I mean, go ahead and have you feel, of it. Everybody going, I mean, most people going to do it. So, yeah.
Tutu, sister girl. You look like yours is about to throw me off my chair.
I actually don't really have like I would probably say like the biggest mishap probably would be that whole co-signing shit is a dub. Like co-signing for people, that's when you really find out who fuck with you and who don't fuck with you. Like that one is when you try to be a good person, you help people out, it just comes back and bites you in the ass. So I'll say that probably be my biggest one. Because at the end of the day, you're sitting here chasing people for money. I don't got time for that. I'm not about to sit there and keep doing that. So yeah, that'd be mine. Nothing too major.
MCJB, got any life lessons for us in that regards?
If you call me and tell me you need me to borrow your money, or would you call it loan you some money? If it's $1,000, I'll tell you I have $100 as a gift. If it's 50, I'll tell you I have $50 as a gift. I stopped doing that. Folks will take your money and they will never pay back. Yeah, so I had to learn. And also, since I'm getting a little bit into showbiz, like working with artists and all those things, promoting is one of the worst things you can do if you don't have money. If you don't have money, please don't be a promoter. You will take your last 20K and bring an artist and you go back home with $3,000. You just lost 17K. And nobody even thinks you did that. They're looking at it like, oh, your show was bloody, but man, as I'm talking to you, the devil just said, can I please borrow him $1,000? Okay, I'm not sending you $100. Don't even think of it. You're not serious. Look at the devil you are. Look at this man. I'm here giving my life lessons. You're saying, can I borrow you $1,000? I'm not sending you $100.
Hey, he saw an opportunity and he took it. Come on, man.
Why would he take that? Why would he knows me well? He knows me. The last time we exchanged gifts, he bought me shoes. He just sent my son a Nintendo the other day at home. Now you're telling me to borrow you $1,000. So were you buying that game so I can give back your money? Let me not hear that again.
I have a question for everyone. Oh, but T, go ahead and
yeah, I wanted to round that part up. Victory, professionally, right? I know that everyone's answered like on a personal level and stuff. Professionally, what are some of the like financial traps, right, that people could watch out for? Just in general, if you have some.
Yeah, so I think I'll say maybe 2 or 3 financial traps. I think the first one is lifestyle creep, right? Living above your means, but you're not like, it's not like you plan to live above your means to be like boastful or bashful or whatever. Some people do, but some people, you just earn more and you're like, I think I can afford that, right? So I think lifestyle creep is a trap, but it's, it's something that we can fall into unconsciously. So I think that's why it's important to keep having the budget. So even if you get a raise at work or you get married and, you're now in a double income household. So there's more money, like you feel like you're richer, try to curb your enthusiasm and release the urge to like start to live at the level that you're at, right? Because if this is how much you make, but this is how much you spend, you have this gap that you can save, invest, or use to, just put some more money aside, because money is like a tool. It's like, I always think about money as seed. So every time when you get your paycheck, somebody has given you a bunch of seed. Don't think about it as dollars. Think about it as seed. Now, this seed, you can cook it in your house. You can eat some of it, right? But you don't want to eat all your seed. The rest of the seed, you have to plant it so that it will grow and bring forth more seed, right? So in the beginning, your employer is the one giving you seed. You don't have any seed of your own, right? But because you have some seed that you saved up or that you invested, now you can become your own, like you can produce your own seed essentially, right? So when you receive your paycheck, when you receive your seed, try to find the difference between how much you actually make and how much you can survive at, and the remaining seed, please plant it. You don't want to eat all your seed because we're in our prime now, we're young. These are, your skin is tight, everything is nice, no wrinkles just yet, right? If you're a lady, this is your prettiest. If you're a man, you're your most fit, right? But you won't be like this forever. Because when we're young, we have the illusion of thinking we're always going to be this strong, this active, and have this eternal drive to hustle. And it's like, oh, I can always make more money. But actually, you won't. So one day you start to sag. The bones, the knees, child, start to sound a little crusty. So please put some of your seed aside, invest some of that, save some of that. So I would say lifestyle creep is the first trap. And then the second trap, and this one is more recent, just because everybody is on the internet now, is false information. This one is huge because a lot of people are giving a lot of advice. Ooh, and before we even did all of this, I should have said my disclaimer. All right, so I'm a CPA, but I'm not your CPA. So please, everything that I've said on this show, everything that I will say, past, present, and future, is for informational purposes only. It is not meant to be taken as financial advice. I have to say that disclaimer, to protect my license, and I completely forgot. So I'm glad I remembered. But yes, there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of people giving advice, and not all of them are ill-intentioned, right? Everybody can have something to share about money, but I think it's a trap for people to fall into, this path of wanting to make quick money, or instant money, right? I'm not going to name any names, but you probably know people who promise you returns that, don't make sense. Like the numbers don't make sense. It's like, how do you make that much money, right? Because if you think about it, human nature, we're inherently selfish. If I really knew where I could make 80% return, I won't tell anybody. I'm not even trying to be fake, but I'm not saying anything. I'm keeping that to myself, right? So if somebody's claiming that they're going to make you these returns that are insane, I want you to be suspicious. I want you to be skeptical, because falling into false information can be another trap that people get into. And there are reputable, places that you can get advice from, right? Like the CPAs or certified financial planners, right? There's websites. If you look at certifiedfinancialplanner.com, or you search for somebody who actually has a license and something to lose, so that if they give you advice, that there's somebody holding them accountable, essentially. Because I think that's another trap that I've seen a lot of people fall into in recent years, is listening to the wrong advice, putting their money in the wrong places, or putting their money with the wrong people. So live within your means, save your seed, and get reputable advice whenever you do.
We've been talking about money works. Money works. How does money work?
That's a very good question. And for that, I will direct you to one of my favorite books about money. It's called The Richest Man in Babylon. So this book is about how money works, right? Because it's a tool. Money has like a personality. You can, I've seen some people do like financial retreats or like healing retreats where they write a letter to money. And that's really, really vulnerable, right? So when you ask the question, how does money work? I will redirect you to go read Richest Man in Babylon, because it has all of the details in there about how money works.
It's a dope read, by the way, but yeah. So for each and every one of us, and beginning with you, Victory, if we had to offer you about three, and then for each of us, one each, if you had to give financial advice to others, right, struggling, be it individuals or couples, some things that you might have probably seen in your line of work, be it long term or short term to our dad, what advice would you give? Financial advice.
So, I think the first thing I would say, whether you're single, coupled up, wherever you are, whatever stage you are, is educate yourself, and please be mindful, of where you get your advice from. Make sure that they're reputable sources, that they've done what they're claiming to do. And, preferably you're not trying to sell you something, because if someone's trying to sell you something, they can't be 100% objective, right? So educate yourself. I do have a resource that has like a lot of links, and a budget template as well, for the audience that they can access. So I would say educate yourself, live within your means.
Where can they find it?
I sent it to.
Yeah, you put the link in the
Show notes. Okay.
description. Yeah.
Yeah. So educate yourself, live within or preferably below your means. Actually, live wherever you want to live. Just don't live above your means, because I don't want to tell people what to do. You work for your money, you can make those decisions, but don't live above your means. Live within or under your means. And the last one is don't compare. Nobody has it figured out. Even your faves don't have it all figured out. We're all figuring it out. So let go of the shame, let go of the whatever discomfort that you feel around money. Just, make a commitment to yourself that you will get educated, that you do your best every day. And I think you'd be fine.
Nice. MCJB, do you have full suit?
Ah, man, this is how I feel, man. I'm just here to get the knowledge.
Yeah,
The knowledge that
Yeah,
I
but
really.
any financial advice that you hold dear to your heart that you would like for others to share.
You already know my stand to this.
Can I just
When it
answer?
comes, Eki, you want me to lie to you? I don't have any. I'm the worst person that can give you any advice financially, because I don't believe that money is to be kept. I already said that.
So your own is money.
Okay, then give the advice how to spend the money and YOLO.
YOLO, you only live once. I like that. California swag. Anyway, just buy buy those clothes, man. You just get a couple of goods of ostentation. Like my pastor was telling me the other day, I think what I should be going into now, maybe like getting like watches, like Rolex and all these fancy watches. That's something that if you have to run, if your house is about to burn, all you got to go is go in and pick 3 watches. That's $300,000. It's good for you to go. Just invest in, because you can always sell them like a Patek. Get a Patek for $95,000. 3 years, 5 years from now, I can get about $250,000. So at this point in time, I'm just looking at getting things that you can sell. For me to build a house in Africa, thank you. Let me just say this. For me to build a house in Africa, I'd rather build a house in Cameroon, in America, and put it on rent or whatever I can do. A house I can commercialize it and get quick returns, rather than building a house in my village where I'm going to be buried. Doesn't make sense, right? Yeah. So I'd rather get an apartment and get some clients in there, get some tenants, and actually make money through that, rather than building that same house in Douala, where the turnout is going to be like the next 20 years, where I can actually make the money. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Tutu.
I don't have any financial advice, honestly. If you want to get it, I'm the worst person because if you got it, get it, but also save. But yeah.
Okay. Lord.
Okay, that's not fair, Lord. 1 second. I said the same thing, and you wanted me to say something. She said the same thing too.
No.
That is not fair, man.
She said no. She said. Anyways, Lord.
For those who are bad at saving, I'd say just look for the closest person that you trust the most, like family member or your parent, and just have an agreement with them and just send them your money.
What parent?
If you don't have parents, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Key word was if you trust. That was the key word.
Thank you.
African parents.
Now listen, I'm being dead ass, because it worked for me. It worked for me. My mom and my dad. My father, he most of the times when he was here, I entrusted him with my finances, so I would always send him bread. Like every week, I'll send him. Every paycheck, I'll send him like $250, and he had a separate bank account under my name. It was under my name. It wasn't like he was keeping it. If I wanted it, I'd just go, hey, pop. But I mean, he would take me as a father. Hey, what do you want it for? Oh my God, you don't need that. Come on, you got it. You know, encourage me. So you just have to be that, you know, disciplined and confident whoever you're sending the money to. Just find somebody like that. And also, Njangi, the old school way, man. Njangi always works. Like when you enter Njangi, or you guys call it Susu. Who else? Some people call it Susu, right?
Kawo. That's
They call
what we
it
call
susu.
it in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Susu.
Join one of those. You cannot run from those. You must have to. Like you don't have a choice. So that kind of forces you to save in some way, depending on how many people are actually on that list. You would really save a lot of bread.
Yeah, until that list is a long ass list, and then you at the last of the damn list.
Which is
I
good.
actually like being
That's
last.
the
Good,
best.
which is good, but like, dang, you go through a whole year before getting your money.
Listen, I was the last on the list. The last year my dad was here. And I just stopped. I was like, man, I was the last on the list, and it was like 20 something people, and that was every.
Oh, that's fire. That's dope.
Listen.
Yeah.
So when I got that, I was like, damn. I need to stop drinking. There's a lot of
people actually need to like tap into that though. Like I don't think a lot of people actually know what that is. But my mom put me onto that, and I was like, okay, hold on now, I can get with this. Like I never understood why she was always like screaming "Oh susu, susu, susu." Like I have to put money on susu, susu. I'm like, girl, what is that? But then when I actually joined it, I was like, oh, now I got money. I got a little money here and there. So I was like, okay. So I would definitely recommend people to just try it just once, especially if you have like something coming up, like whether it's a trip. Because I did that for my birthday, and like especially if you have like big events, you want to save up money for something or whatever. I would definitely recommend that. So,
or you want to put a down payment on a house.
Facts. Yeah.
If you do,
that's mine right there.
Oh, please don't use that when you're trying to buy a house. Don't do that. It's gonna.
I was gonna say, if you do, make sure you know that there's accountabilities, people you trust.
Thank you. That's what I was gonna say. When you try to buy a house, it's gonna come and haunt you.
Say it again.
When you're trying to buy a house, don't use that money. You can use it as a gift. Someone can give you as a gift, like a paycheck. They can catch it. Then the person will need to actually be part of your closing. When they're about to close your house, the person will need to show that they actually gave you that gift, and they'll probably need to check the bank account. If the
but wait, why was that? Is it not your money?
No, they don't use Susu to buy houses.
But they can see all the transactions from your bank account going there.
Just so you know, when you're trying to buy a house, have an account where the money is consistent. When it goes in and doesn't come out that much. When you have money like that come into that account, like for instance, people make this mistake, right? Like the day of the Susu, say they're getting in like 20K, and 19 people are going to send them $1,000 each. So you're getting 19,000 into that account from 19 different people. So they're going to question you, where's this money from?
Oh, okay. Makes sense. I get what you're saying now. Okay. It looks suspicious. Okay. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I sent mine from the same account back and forth. You can backtrack. I have backlogs. So
he's talking about coming in, not you sending out.
Yes, money coming into that account.
Money
coming in.
But what if they give you the lump sum, right? I mean, like the entire amount. Like, okay, here's 20K, and you go deposit 20K into your bank account.
That's what I'm saying. That you need to. Okay, you just got it.
Don't you have to declare past a certain amount?
Yeah,
I think it's 10K or something.
Well, I mean, I was asking because for those who got credit unions coming very much. If you have a credit union, I'm telling you, you're gonna avoid some of these things. But if you don't have a credit,
yep.
So for those who are thinking about doing that, I would say get your credit union right now, even if you just be depositing $100 in it. Like get your credit union and then just hold that, hold it. I've had mine for 15 years now, and the process for getting my crib was very simple. Yeah, a lot of people around me were crying, "Oh, I cannot spend this and that." Man, I was burning like.
Which credit union you with?
Lake Michigan Credit Union. It doesn't matter.
I'm with Andrews.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna agree with AK. Credit unions are really good. So establish the relationship with them before you need to borrow, right? It's like your friendships, your relationships. Build a relationship with them, bank with them for a long time, and they typically have better rates, interest rates as well.
Right.
Love me a good credit union. Navy Federal me, baby.
Are you in the Navy? Have you ever been in the Navy?
That's not your business. You too loud. You too loud. You too loud. I got
Be
Navy
mindful.
ties. I got Navy ties. Thank you.
I'm gonna be quiet because I ain't never been to the Air Force either.
Hey
Man,
yo.
you cannot stop loving this woman, right?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're moving on to word of the day.
Oh, 1 second. I think T did not give her own advice, if any.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'd say that one thing that has helped me that has not been mentioned was having to change my mentality towards money. Especially on the side of somebody who grew without, or who, you're starting from scratch pretty much. Having to recalibrate my attitude to what money is, how to use it, what its actual role in my life should be. That has helped me a lot on top of everything else. Because I believe that you can get all the education, you can get all these things, but if your relationship or your mentality towards finances is screwed, I don't know. It's gonna be make for an interesting. You're gonna be an interesting person with money in the account. Let me just put it that way, because it's not just about the dollar amount. Is like what's the person behind this dollar signs? If that makes sense. If that matters to you, but yeah.
No, okay. I know Tuti is about to give the word of the day. I was just gonna say something. Out of the six of us here, the probability that any of us is gonna make $1 million is like 1 out of 1,000,000, right?
Sure.
So what's the age for you to be a millionaire in America in dollars? Because you can grab if you leave America now with $3,000, you go to Singapore. Is it Singapore or Vietnam? You're a billionaire in the country, So in American dollars,
It's Vietnam, can be Singapore.
I think it's Singapore. I think it's
So
Vietnam.
Vietnam
Sorry. No, it's Vietnam. One of those countries, Vietnam. So what is the age limit where if you miss that age, you might not be a millionaire again?
I don't think there's an age limit.
I don't think there is.
Okay. Do your research. We'll talk about it next week.
That's just and I'll just tell you now. I don't care what that research says out there. There is no age limit. Anything.
From the work that you're doing right now, I don't mean you getting into showbiz where you can make $1 million a night. Like from your average salary that you make, we're looking like $55 an hour.
That's the question.
I don't know no average 9 to 5 work that would make somebody a millionaire.
So that's what I said. What is the age?
No, but that's not what you said, though. It's not. It's definitely not what you said.
Did you hear my question, or you just want to? I asked a question. I said, what is the age that if you miss, you might not become a millionaire? That's what I said.
That is exactly your question. There was no if you are working, if you are not. There was none of that.
But now that he actually elaborated, it made sense because I was actually having this debate the other day with my coworkers, and he was like, "Dude, you realize that as so far we keep coming here on this 9 to 5, the most we'll ever see in our lifetime is below 1 million. Think about it.
Yep.
Kind of, if you're just doing your 9 to 5.
9 to 5.
I'm sorry. I beg to differ. I do agree that you may not see like $1 million sitting in your account like all at one time. But if you add it, if you start working at 18 and you retire at 65, if you add up all the money that has come through your hands, that has flowed through, it's definitely more than $1 million. You just spent it paying for bills.
That's different.
That's not what we're saying.
We talk about something that you could sit back like and put
into your account.
Like, whoa.
But you know what? Speaking of that, though, I do know some top execs who are like in that their annual salaries. We're talking up there.
Mm-hmm.
I know, like.
See,
so
average person, the average of us.
That's what we're talking about. I said 6 of us here.
I know we've already established that if it's through your 9 to 5, that might be hard, but not to bust anyone bubble to say it's out there. But like JB said, the probability of you having that is, it's almost slim to none.
It's higher with you getting struck by lightning. Dying from a plane crash.
Don't forbid, please.
That's real. One thing I wanted to add to the conversation we're having was, I don't know about others, but once I got wind or the importance of life insurance, how I can make that work for me. I think that was, that was a big eye opener. So if you are out there, if you're out there and you're getting older in age and you don't have one, I'll encourage you to look into it now. Because the older you get, the more expensive it gets. And if you're having kids now, it's also definitely a good time for you to, invest in it for them, because once you do that now, it stays at that fixed price, depending on what you pick, it stays at that fixed price for the rest of their lives. They wouldn't ever have to, change that unless something happens. I'm not an expert at it, but yeah. Contact your expert.
But AK, remember about 8 years ago, 8 to 10 years ago, there was this so-called 5 links where all Africans are jumping into 5 links, right? What happened to 5 links? It died a sudden death.
You turn into one.
Right? Then all of a sudden now,
the person ran away with all the money.
during COVID was crazy because dudes were trying to. All Cameroonians are new in Minnesota were selling something. Everyone was life insurance. After COVID, now it just passed. Like now, no one is selling life insurance no more. But trust me, there are folks out there. I know of a lady. She's out there in Ohio. This lady is a millionaire. She's making so much money with her boyfriend or fiance. They're making so much money because they're climbing up this ladder and stuff. I know it's a pyramid, how the pyramid scheme, all those things. She's making so much money, and you can see the way she's growing. But those that I know, that they stood like, okay, I can just get 50 people. I know a dude who joined this thing since 2022, and he has just 3 people under his name. So it's really, really crazy. I'm just saying that us as Africans, we always look for the easiest way. There was a time where it was Oracle database that everybody was a DBA. Then came Scrum Master. Everybody became a Scrum Master. Then came cybersecurity. Everyone is a cybersecurity. Nurses have been consistent. There were nurses who made about $1 million during COVID, right? And they have been consistent in the money and stuff like that. So I'm just saying that I'm not an expert. I will talk to you when it comes to MCing and other stuff. But I feel like when it comes to money, us as Africans, we would like to follow the trend. If you have one Jewish friend, tell me what they do for a living. It'll be very hard for you to tell me what they do for a living.
That's that word you don't like, generational wealth.
Yeah. So it's just that what encompasses us, like, okay, most of us Africans, our money does not circulate around us. That's why I talk about money circulation. When you get your money, I go buy a hat, I go buy a cell phone. I don't take that money and go buy an African hat or an African outfit like Ashwabi, promoting my sister's Victory's business so she can now bring that money back in the community. I take that money out of my community. I buy a Mercedes. I buy a big house. I do all these things because I'm trying to compare with other people. But instead, if I take that money and bring it down, get a small Toyota, get a small house, get an apartment on the side, and get 2 flats. I'm renting one and living in the other side. There you go. That's how we make money in our community.
JB, you will say you want to buy it to YOLO.
I don't mean me. I'm talking about, I just told you I'm not a financial analyst. I've told you what I can do. But it doesn't mean that I have the knowledge, but I don't care about it because I know that I'm just passing. We are passing.
All right,
in this life.
Before we go to word of the week, let me ask one last question to Victory. Victory, you mentioned the book earlier, the something billionaire, the Babylon man, something like that.
Richest man in Babylon.
Yeah, that book. Are there any other resources that you could recommend to help with financial management or?
Yes, ma'am. So in the link that will be in the show notes, I have a budget template in there. And that budget template, it has a simple beginner's budget. It also has like a debt pay down schedule, something to help you see, all the debt that you have. And then it also has another page. It's a Google sheet. It has another page there where you can have all my money tips. So I've just listed like some of my money tips, and it includes like a list of resources, including books you can read that can help you, gain more knowledge as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, one last question again before we get out of here. We've been talking about all good things, but what is one thing you don't like about your profession?
About my profession or about the financial money system?
How about do two?
Yeah, both. One for the CPA. Yeah.
Okay, so I will start macro and then I'll bring it micro. So on a macro scale, I think one thing that I dislike about like the financial system of the world, which is being led by the big nations, the US, China, UK, the big nations, is this the pace, right? The pace of life that we've created as a society of just go, 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 go. I think I had 2 cups of coffee today. So this pace of life, I think it's been created by the system, and we do need it, to make money, to keep the economy running. We're trading stocks, we're doing all of this stuff, but I do think, there's room for balance, right? You also have to rest. You have to pace yourself. You have to know when you've reached your limits and where your boundaries are. And I do believe in like, a whole life wellness, right? I don't want to work 80-hour weeks and come back and my children don't remember who I am, right? That's not the life I want to build for myself. So in zooming in micro level about my career, I think, or not my career, my field, like finance, accounting, that field specifically, I think one thing I dislike, I think it's just a grandchild of the system, right? Again, is the pace of the work that you kind of have to do, and work life, priorities. But I think that if you make your choice that this is the industry that you want to stay in, then you have to figure out what works for you. So I just mentally prepare myself, for the times when I'll be busier and the times when I'll have more downtime. I'm like, okay, I'm resting today. So I'm really, really resting. My phone is on do not disturb. Nobody calls me, nobody texts me because I'm resting, right? So I would say those are the two.
It's nice. Any other questions before we jump to word of the week? All right.
I had a question, but it was a random question out of topic. Y'all know, like random questions. Can I ask it, or are y'all gonna come ahead?
Just go ahead, Lord. You're
Thank
already
you.
on
Thank you
mute.
very much. Thank you. What, as adults now, when was the last time you had a bad fall that you were just like, that shit hurt?
Boy, I had a little bit of hope in you when I said go ahead. I thought it wouldn't be that far off.
No, it's far off.
You took us to a whole different universe.
Fine, continue your story. I continue. Well, question of the week, the word of the week. Thank you.
Okay. Word of the week. I don't have a sentence, so y'all can figure out a sentence. I don't have to tell y'all, but I don't have a sentence for it. I have the word and the definition, but not the sentence. Okay, so today's word, or this week's word, is procurement. 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 And it is a noun. And the definition is the action of obtaining or procuring something. So yeah, so if y'all want to go ahead and put in a sentence, y'all can go ahead, but I don't got a sentence for y'all.
He works in the procurement department. How about that?
Okay. Would you say procurement department or would you say procuring department?
I think it's procurement department. I think so. Them is the people who order, like who put in the orders. Yeah, they put in orders for the workplace and whatnot.
Okay, you're right. There you go. Virtual high five. You go, girl. But yeah, so that's the word of the week.
Yay.
Thank you. All right. Conclusions. Victory, you might lead us some conclusions. Anything they want people to know that we haven't asked you or that you haven't touched on?
Yes, I'll take it back to 2 things. One, about the generational wealth. So I want us to reflect and think about your 80-year-old self, if God gives us the grace to live that long. And I want you to think about part of your legacy, part of your generational wealth is also taking care of yourself, right? Making sure you're doing your physical checkups, your mental checkups, your emotional checkups, right? And also, making sure you have your retirement account and all of that set up as well. Because you don't want to be 80 and eating ramen. I don't think that's, unless you're in Japan and it's like the traditional, Japanese ramen, right? So we want to reflect and think about our 80-year-old or even 60-year-old or 50-year-old self and where we want to be and the type of life that we want to be living. Hopefully we all, want to have a safe, clean home to live in and, the ability to put food on our table. So I will say that that's part of, my legacy and my generational wealth as well, is being intentional about not wanting to be a burden to my children, right? So my retirement plan is not oh, my children will take care of me. No, sis, you have to put money aside and at least have something to take care of yourself so you don't end up being, a burden to them in your old age. So I would say that. And then, in conclusion, I think money is a journey. We're all constantly learning, we're growing, we're healing our traumas and we're learning new things. We're unlearning and we're learning. So let's just keep on the path to learning and always remember that nobody has it all figured out. So don't feel bad if you feel like you're a beginner.
Yeah. So, and how can people connect with you?
So you can connect with me on Instagram or on the TikTok app for the younger ones. I'm everywhere at Victory Banwo. So you can connect with me there. You can sign up for my newsletter where I will send, things that I find interesting or helpful to my email list as well.
Mm-hmm. And sorry, we didn't touch on this, but what services do you offer?
So I currently right now don't offer any type of particular services. I'm more focused on my 9 to 5 as far as a financial perspective comes about. But the thing that I have for most people who are wanting to have the conversation about money is the budget template. I think that's just a really quick and easy way to get your a visual of what your finances look like.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. We greatly appreciate it. This was really nice. Hopefully we come back down the line again, once we talking some more finance and, shed some more knowledge.
Yeah.
Have any other questions for Victory?
Absolutely. Thank you all for having me. Thank you for the invite. This was great.
It was. Appreciate it.
Man,
Thanks for coming on. Appreciate
beauty
you.
with brain. Beauty with brain.
I know.
Man. Look at that.
That was very. Outro. I'm close up.
Anybody got conclusions?
She was just.
I mean, you know what? Now that you ask, let me piggyback off something Victory said. That is a big trigger for me about having people. We leave in to say that the next generation is going to take care of us, right? And that's how I feel like that's how we slow down that process of generational wealth, right? Because instead of living forward, we end up living backwards, especially in our African communities, right? Now, I'm not saying that there's nobody at no point in time should ever abandon a family, right? Especially your immediate family. But having to constantly, generation after generation, live backwards, I think that's one of our biggest hindrances when it comes to wealth and finances, right? And I'm a firm believer of living within your means also includes family, right? I don't care how much a desire you have to have children. I don't care if your biological clock has broken. I don't care if your ovaries are dry or your sperms don't swim. That includes children, right? Do not have kids that you are not able to cater to. Don't do it, because then you just perpetrate a vicious cycle and a brokenness that is just passed down on, and we're not going anywhere. We're not advancing as a people. So yeah, that's my own conclusion. Sorry.
The government will.
Yep, the government is going to do that for us.
Until when? Until how long?
Okay,
and what is the wellness? The government they'll give you a paycheck and a tax break, but
you're not just learning, it's a whole business, right?
It is.
It is. Yeah.
It is.
Anyways.
It is a whole business.
It's your agenda too. Anyways, that's a topic.
Well, someone's depositing the sperm, so I don't know. I think it's a two-man blame game.
For speaking practical.
Why are you trying to take this there now? Why can we not just?
It's not. That was just my conclusion. I just thought I'll throw that out there because it's a touchy part.
We are the ones throwing it. We are the ones throwing the semen. The woman is the receptor.
So two people. It's a two-way street.
Oh, it cannot be a two-way street when it's your body.
You know how there's a street, there's east and north? East and north blame street. That's the address.
It cannot be a two-way street when it's your body, your choice.
Exactly.
It cannot be.
It is. That's her part. That's her part of the decision. Her body had choice. She kept it. Your part was going around spraying the club. because you stop spraying bottles in the club means you go around spraying other things?
I don't know what human men did on earth to deserve this. We just moved from a close conclusion to us now throwing things around.
No,
We are the ones
we're
catching them.
still in the same. It's still the same conversation. It's still the same thing.
No,
Don't go around have 6 baby mamas. You can barely take care of your own self.
Yeah,
Talking about
the way
I
you
got
love that
my
word, baby
no
mama.
man, mini me.
She loves that word,
Got
baby
you.
mama. She loves that word, baby mama, so much.
Anyways, that
I don't
was the
like
end
that
of my
word.
conclusion.
I don't like that word. I think Tia said it all. Tia said it all. I really don't have a lot to say. He's just going in circles. I think it was a great show. The beautiful lady came through. Thank you for coming, and please come again. Uh, I hope you didn't feel it was like a job interview. We're just having a regular session. Okay. So come back next time. We're going to talk about other things, which is not going to be so financial. I have a lot to learn from you. I like to learn about people. I'm a social scientist. Yeah. And sometimes too, I'm crazy, but that's who I am. And life is full of choices. I made my choice to be part of this podcast and I'm here. So please come back.
Thank you, sir.
Mhm.
Tutu, what's your own conclusion? Okay. Baba Lord, what's your conclusion, sir?
Thank you, Victor, for coming for sure. I love this episode. It was very financially informative. Definitely learned a lot. So I'll definitely be improving my financial habits for sure.
Did you just say it was financially informative and then you try to throw in the word financial in the next sentence after that?
Hey, don't why
Hey, yo.
all of a sudden you want to talk?
Hey, you know what? You're right.
This is an accounting session, not
My bad. Let me just mute myself. My bad.
Whatever. That's it. Thank you very much.
Anyways, man, you heard the people, man. Victory, thank you. T, thank you. Tutu, thank you. Baba Lord, appreciate it. Even though the way you're mute today, man, I thought I was looking for you in the show, but anyways, man, appreciate you. MC JB, thank you as always. This is the crew, man. Follow us on all social platforms. If you're not, hit that subscribe button. If you're not subscribed to the show, get weekly notifications. We open for guests. If you want to come on and share what you do, all that good stuff. We open. Hit us up. Any of us.
Oh, so after hours got killed, huh? I think so. Yeah.
And well, this is a Palma Central crew. Yeah, Audi. Catch you next time.